Welcome back to the Morning Skate Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Mitchell, here with Matt Moody, doing an intro like we're going to put this onto the podcast feed. I have no idea if that's going to happen or not.
Nope.
But it is Sunday, July 20th as of recording. If you're watching this in the future at some point, Scotty Scheffler just won after telling everybody he doesn't care about winning. Matt, how was your PGA Sunday?
It was bad because I had Scotty and I still lost money. I actually had a hilariously bad day. I finished 5 points from the cash line in like the high stakes golf, the main slate baseball slate, and the afternoon baseball slate. Like literally, like I think 3.5 points in two of them, and I think golf was, or one of the baseballs was like 2.2 points, and the other were like 3.5 points. So like one of those, like, yeah, I should have had, a nice 2x day. Instead, it basically got no money back. So, but whatever. I mean, the golf was fun. I found it interesting, at least.
Yeah.
Being right on Scotty as a never Scotty bro was a lot of fun. I missed a 6 of 6 by one shot. My 5 of 6 had a +2 in it. So just all sorts of pain all around. But yeah, it's been a good day though. I made progress on hockey stuff and obviously doing a stream. So
not too bad.
Good times.
Yeah. I actually did. I had the 6 of 6, no Scotty, and I did hold on to my min cash, which I thought was deader than dead, but I held on.
And you had no Fitzy, right?
No fits.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know how I held on. Yeah, the donkeys got, and like the thing is that I had in my head like my original builds where I was like, you know what, I'm playing Scotty because I really feel like the fish are going to be off of him after that whole press conference. And they were off him, and I am stupid, and I went back to Rory.
It's incredible.
And, it was just so much easier to build around Rory. It just made it everything crispy and delightful, and all my boys were in the lineups. I mean, reluctantly played Hideki, but all the other guys were kind of my guys. So we can move past the golf, as now I feel like everyone's probably pretty much here, and we'll get a few more stragglers. But fun to sweat the golf. Golf is enjoyable.
Yeah.
So anything else before we get into stuff?
I mean, if you're not in the Morning Skate Pod Discord, you definitely should be. I know some of you come over from like Badge Bros and whatnot, but I'm frankly not cross-posting everything into, multiple Discords. So if you need to get in there, make sure you DM DJ and I. We can get you the link, very easy. But I did make some progress today, like I was saying. I'm looking at some things. So the tentative plan for this episode is basically to do the same thing we did on Tuesday, one of the days earlier this week.
Wasn't it Thursday?
Was it Thursday? I have no idea. No, it was Wednesday because I was yelling at you. I was yelling at you that I had to do golf.
That's right. Yeah. It was Wednesday because golf, right?
I
think that's why I thought Thursday, and like that's just not how that works at all.
Yeah, so the plan is to go over another batch of teams. We're a little aggressive in thinking we could do all 32 teams and do a draft last show. So we'll probably do another 10 or so. And then I have a couple more things that I'll showcase, but again, make sure you're in the Discord and following my Beehive and stuff, because I will put more depth into it in those places than on stream. And then we'll do a draft. So thank you all for hanging out with us. Let's get into it.
Yeah. How many drafts in are you at this point?
7.
Oh, wow. I'm at 6. I thought I'd have you beat. 6 in.
Yeah,
and
7.
I have 4 players that are 50% or more. 3 are 50% and 1 is more. One of them I know I talked to you about, Nico Hischier. I just continue to fall back into the Nico Hischier as my second center. I just feel like that goal scoring upside we saw last year, and that bit more of a ability to, or not ability, just a, desire to shoot from Nico might be real. I think he's an OB player, and I think he's going. Wow. I really don't think he's going that early or later, and that late. Like I don't think he's like an absolute smash. It's just like it's a comfy click, and I feel like I can always get someone in at the end. Yeah, I still have one Zach Benson. Okay, screw off.
That's awesome.
My other three are. Oh, is there other funny stuff?
No, if I can get DJ to stop talking, I was actually going to touch on this.
Okay, so. Let me just finish my three, and then we'll move on. But it's Ilya
What are your
Sorokin.
three? I don't even know what your three are. What are
my
you
three
right
other
now?
players above 50%.
Oh, okay, sure. I can.
Ilya Sorokin, Quentin Byfield, and Matt Boldy. Okay. I don't think Boldy needs a lot of explanation. Like, I think that's just sort of been the guy that gets to me a lot of times. It is what it is. And then Byfield, it just, I could listen to an argument against him because the propensity to shoot the puck at an elite rate hasn't been there, but it does feel like everything we liked about Gabe Velarde, everything we liked about maybe kind of a lot of those like guys in that role, he just is a better version of, and he's a center. So at his age, if you watch him play, I actually like recently retweeted one of his videos of like his best goals. Like, he has everything I feel like that could get him to a 30 goal scorer type of player. His, everything about him really feels that way. So if they use him right, and I think they're going to, and continue to push him on the power play, like, I feel like he is just not quite going as early as I think his upside would entail. And then Sorokin is just a bet on the starts, as we mentioned. And I'm not that afraid of betting on the Islanders to be a little bit better than people think. Like, I'm not going to go to bat for them, but could they be the 12th worst team in the league? Like, yeah, probably. And then Sorokin smashes. So
DJ just getting absolutely roasted here in the chat. This is fun. I guess I haven't looked at the playoff schedule in all honesty, but they're talking about back-to-backs in particular.
It was the backs-to-backs. That's right. Okay, yeah. I mean, he starts one of them. I was gonna say, I feel like the game usage wasn't that bad, but yeah, the back-to-backs, I think were.
And also Patrick Waugh is coach, so he'll be riding the pine by March. People. Let's I will just read mine because for some reason DJ thought this was the right time to do it. Dylan Guenther, wow, surprise, big surprise. I have 4 out of 7 Dylan Guenthers. I've gotten 4 Connor McDavids, just taking him at 3 and 2 when I get it, so cool. And I have 4 Mika Zibanejad in my 7 as well. I think his role is a lot different this year than in past years, and that power play role is still one I want a piece of, given his right shot on that power play of JT Miller and Panarin, setting him up. So I think he's a top 6 winger who's getting power play 1, and he's the trigger man, and he goes super late in drafts. I'm drafting a lot more centers. We'll talk about that when it's draft time, but it's just a guy I'll be clicking on, I think, because I like his upside relative to the price. All right. One more thing. I did not recognize this name, YouTube. Would you believe I took down a little Zamboni this year with my first 2 picks being McKinnon and Eichel? Thanks for all your help. That is awesome. I'm guessing it was a Panthers onslaught afterward, which is pretty cool. Congrats. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Couple things before we get to the team-by-team stuff. First, I shared this directly in the Discord earlier, so I will just put it here and go check it out if you want to. This is the schedule for the entire season and how teams overlap with one another. If that doesn't make sense, I will reconstruct it. Maybe I should have zoomed this in first. But basically, when you think of the schedule, there's 25 weeks in the entire season, and you can only score, 7 players of your 16-man roster for each week. So in week 1, Calgary plays 3 times, Anaheim plays 2 times. Ideally, if you're using the schedule as a weapon, you're going to get contrasting stacks together. So for example, if you wanted to stack Anaheim, what I've done is I've put together, here are the best teams to stack with Anaheim, and here are the best teams not to stack with Anaheim. Because when Anaheim plays a bunch of games, Toronto plays a bunch of games. When Anaheim doesn't play a lot of games, Toronto doesn't play a lot of games. They only have an 8 difference. I call it the Manhattan distance. That's like a statistical concept. But basically just they're 8 city blocks apart when you think of the 25 weeks as like a city grid. And you do this for every team, every combination. And this is the summary that we get to. This is in the Discord, but basically think of this as like a cheat sheet for just general stacking. So for example, if you're stacking Columbus, maybe that's where you take your McCann, Shane Wright, because, they have a lot of overlap with one another, versus they don't have a lot of overlap with one another. Versus, let's see, Columbus here with the New York Islanders. If you're stacking Columbus, maybe don't take the Islanders with them as like just a rule of thumb. Just get a little different. If I had to guess, this is very minorly impactful on your end of year results. But I wrote about it a little bit in last year's Best Puck Manifesto as to why I thought stacking worked. And I think this has to do with it, just the schedule and how things interchange. So this is in the Discord. Make sure you check it out. A very interesting one. Seattle and the Rangers have like a massive disparity. 28. I think the next closest is 24 for even like a couple teams. So Seattle's an odd team this year. Like they just have a lot of difference in their schedule versus other teams. Maybe that raises guys in the later rounds into consideration. I don't know. But that's there. Make sure you check it out if you care about that sort of thing, but you definitely don't need it in order to do well. Any thoughts on that, DJ?
I mean, every edge is an edge, and I said this every time anyone asked me for anything about draft. It's like everything's a decision tree, right? I mean, we don't have the results. We can predict what we can predict, but at the end of the day, you have to use everything to your advantage. I think in hockey, the advantage is much, much larger for just having a base level understanding of what you're doing in any capacity, then adding in projections, then adding in things of this nature, adding in your scheduling impacts, your playoff schedules, all of these different little tools are going to get you then to a point of drafting the most optimal in a format that if you draft 150, you're really setting yourself up for a stab at it, right? Like even if you, again, like I think we both drafted in some capacity 150. Well, I don't think you drafted 150, but like pretty good to very good teams. I had two get to the finals and they got
Speak for yourself.
Lambasted.
Mine were ass.
Like you're just getting to the dance at that point, right? Like you can't, if you give yourself enough chances to get to the dance over the course of 5 years, last year I did end up negative. If you can continue to kind of at least tread water until you get that 1 year where it clicks. I mean, I got it early on. Everyone can be due for it at any time.
So, Tart Blueberry put this look together as well, also in the Discord. I've pinned both of them in the Dog App channel, so make sure you check that out. But it highlights the underdog playoff weeks where, the money's really made. And this will also help you, especially when it comes to goalies. I like to take a peek at this. For example, if I'm drafting UC Saros and I see that in the finals he plays 2 games in that 1 week, I might go out of my way to take a goalie who has 4 starts, 4 team games in that week, because presumably they'll get 3 of those starts at the very least. So, Dostal, for example, might be a good way to yin and yang with Saros, just at a glance. So these resources are in the Discord. Make sure you check those out. The last thing I wanted to do was briefly talk about stacking. If we harken back to last year's manifesto, I wrote about stacking. I'm not going to read through it, but you should read this. Let's see. Where basically what I care about is this, not that, is this little table here. So make sure you check out this table and my write-up of it. I redid this table with last year's data, not with the new rules, like the new flex and whatnot. I did find that the mini stacks were also more powerful last year than the mega stacks. So, it seems like it's a consistent trend at this point. And again, you should just read what I wrote last year. And I will just say that I did confirm that, largely speaking, the EV benefits of single stacking are better than the benefits of super stacking. I will say this past season, the 3-man stacks worked a little bit better. Oddly enough, Buffalo 3 stacks were insane. At probably Tage, Dahlin, and Tuck, but I did not dive into it. So just a little something there for the stacking folks. And finally, I also ran through some data on where is it? It's somewhere in here. You know what? I will find it eventually, and then we can. Yeah, I'll find it and pull it up. But basically, I ran through some of the spike data I shared last week, like the spike rate and the multi spikes. I'll write this up more. I'll write this up for the newsletter for sure as part of the manifesto updates. But I think there's some interesting stuff here about the spike week calculations that I did. It's not going to be as thorough as uh, the full on like EV analysis I did, but because the rules are changing, I'm not sure it's worth me just rewriting last year's manifesto. Instead, I should try and hack away at little problems. So DJ, where did we leave off? Do you remember going through the team by team last week? Let's see.
No, we got through the Flames. We got through Edmonton.
Hold on. I bet I know because I will have zoomed in on. Okay. Yep. So we got through Edmonton.
Yeah.
All right, Florida. Let's talk about them.
Yeah. Again, like just the obvious, get it out of the way. I mean, they are one of the best teams in the NHL. I think the whole, they won the Stanley Cup back-to-back years. Hard to argue with that. It is really funny to just the tune changed so much. I mean, the majority of people were telling me I was stupid for saying Florida in 7 over Tampa. And I was being convinced that I was stupid. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I am stupid. Maybe I am the idiot here for not just, capitulating to what I'm being told right now. But I do think in the scope of just underdog, I really don't like clicking on any of these players. I could be convinced a little bit of Seth Jones. Like I mentioned when I took him, like I think there's a little bit more there than D23. But other than that, I really don't know if there's one click that I'm actively excited about pushing right now. Reinhardt is fine. I don't know. I mean, is there one guy here that I'm not seeing that you're maybe looking at a little bit closer?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to track the Matthew Tkachuk information that's available. I think he's gonna miss time next season. I mean, there's like already reports that he might be out to start next year and like miss like half the year. So I don't know how much we'll be able to confirm there, but that should inform what they do with a guy like Evan Rodriguez. Because if there's a top 6 job open, I'm guessing Mackie Samoskevich is going to be a smash again. And it's going to be the thing where, he disappears when everyone's healthy because they're just stacked and who cares. But if Tkachuk's injured, then they don't need to trade Evan Rodriguez. If Matthew Tkachuk is healthy, they need to trade Evan Rodriguez and Jesper Boqvist in order to get under the cap. I mean, there's literally no other way unless someone else is injured that they can put on LTIR to skirt their cap hell that they're in right now because they re-signed Bennett and Ekblad and Marchand. So Samoskevich is, I think, going to be a riser in the summer, but we just need to know for sure, what the situation is and is he going to be a top 6er or not? Because when he was in the lineup, he was awesome last year. Right. Well above average and everything. He's got the pedigree. And obviously the team is good enough and willing to feature him like they showed to make it worthwhile, but they just need the role to open up. And it should, but I'm not willing to commit to that just yet.
And for that reason, it's like I just can't click on Matt right now, Matt Tkachuk. I just can't click the buttons. It just feels like at 15.6, you could be basically kneecapping your entire lineup. And again, the alternative that you could say is like, well, what if he's fully healthy? And it's like, then he's maybe 15.6. I don't even know if he's 15.6 if he's 100%. Like,
then he's going to get hurt in the Olympics. Like, okay, cool.
Right. I think again, and the question was asked here a little bit about like stacking and like how to like maybe like, well, what are we talking about exactly? And it's like, well, Barkov and Reinhardt, like those are two guys that are going to stay together. And then it kind of feels like everything else you could, Verhaeghe feels malleable where he fits in the lineup. I worry about Matt Tkachuk's health. I don't think I'm ever clicking the Bennett button at 72 in that range. So really, it just feels like there's this kind of one stack here that I like on Florida, but in reality, I'm really not that interested in, hitching my wagon to this team. And like, you are buying very expensive assets here across the board, outside of Verhaeghe, who feels a little bit cheap, but they hate him. So, okay. He's just like they put Mackey over him on the power play multiple times.
They put Seth Jones and Aaron Ekblad on the power play over him.
Exactly. It's like I love Verhaeghe, but like they hate him. So what am I gonna do? Like I'm gonna.
This is also a team that has showed us their cards when the playoff weeks come. They might literally be benching guys because they do not care about winning the division. If you recall, they had a very real chance to win the Atlantic, and they literally just started benching their guys to rest up for the playoffs and committed themselves to a road path through the Atlantic Division. They were of the road team against Tampa. They were the road team against Toronto. They did not care. They could have tried and gotten out of it. They did not. So, buyer beware when it comes to the Florida Panthers. They're a good team, but I don't think their fantasy upside is high enough to the point where you can survive the downside risk of basically all of these assets. Any interest in Bob? I know they just traded for Tarasov. He's goalie 75. I don't actually have what he looked like last. Actually, do I?
I think it was
pull this over.
Pretty decent. I think it's like that range of goalie. I feel like has a couple of guys that I like a little bit more. I'm trying to think through what that range is exactly right now. But I'm not uncomfortable clicking on it because I do think most of these ADPs for these goalies is going to continue to rise. So I'm not worried that I'm going to get a bad value.
I have his last year EV for, again, it's a $15 buy-in. When you consider overlay, rake, whatever, maybe $14 on average. I have Bob's EV from last year at about $16. So he was pretty good, not like smashing like Connor Hellebuck good, but pretty good. And he was being drafted right around 50 last year.
Yeah, it was definitely earlier.
So,
I think I like Logan Thompson and Olmark more is where my head goes.
All right.
So I took Olmark over him last time I was drafting. That was the guy that was in my mind. So, but yeah, we'll keep it moving. Let's get over to the LA Kings. I think this has been the offseason, everybody's dunking on and saying, well, now they're just not going to make the playoffs at all. Like, not only are they not going to beat Edmonton in the first round, they're not even going to get to the first round. It was the same story last offseason, right? Everybody saying the same. The LA Kings are done. They're bad. They're old. Their defense sucks. Do I like their offseason? No. I don't think that, who is it? Ken Holland, right? Is that their new GM? Am I losing my mind?
Yes, it is. It is Ken Holland.
Yeah. I feel like okay, so they're like, we have the worst coach in the NHL. What do? Fire our GM and hire Ken Holland. Bang. I mean, you're back, folks. Yeah, they pissed me off, but I think they're a good team. I think they're still right on the round of playoffs. And the fact that only really one player is at that kind of upper echelon of that fantasy value, I think is probably wrong. Who ends up taking the rest of it, right? Fiala, I think, is market adjusted correct around 80. That just feels like the right spot for him. And then the guy that I think is a little undervalued is Byfield. Everything else, I mean, I'm not drafting Kuzmenko or Kopitar, and I will get some pieces of Brant Clark because I just think that the upside on him is kind of to the moon. If he ends up taking that top power play, if Kuzmenko gets banished to the Shadow Realm, because that happens on every team after a very short amount of time, you could be looking at a pretty high-end point producer that later on in the season could, just a week or two at a time could catch fire and kind of score points. So, yeah.
Here, do me a favor. Can you guess Kevin Fiala's stat line, goals, assists, points from last year?
Okay.
I can tell you he was not a point per game player. He was below that. So
I'm gonna guess 34 goals, 32 assists.
Okay, it's actually closer than he had 35 goals and only 25 assists.
I was gonna say I feel like I specifically remember him having
is
way less assists than I thought he would. That's
he's
why I
coming
went.
off of
Yeah,
years of 52, 49, and 44 assists. Like, I don't know what happened. You can see he was still pretty good last year, but the assists just disappeared. And um,
yeah.
the playoffs are coloring way too much of how I think about the LA Kings as far as like, their lineup and everything. But my God, like they're offensively, they were really, really strong. Like even throughout the playoffs to close the year, like they were really firing on all cylinders. So Leferrier, Byfield, I mean, they both can score in my book. So why is Fiala limited to being a 25 assist guy? I don't know. But like 7.5 feels like a low water mark because I really don't know how Fiala gets below 25 assists again this year.
And again, like exactly our prior going into last year was he is always out there on the power play. He will take the full 2 minutes, and he did. Like he continued to do that, and he continued to have the puck flow through him quite often. So the fact he finished with such a low total of assists feels incredibly unlucky. And I'm like, I mean, does that make him a smash value? I'm not sure, but I mean, I am interested. I feel like every draft I'm in, he's getting taken earlier and earlier. Just checking his ADP at the very current, it is 85. So he's dropped. So I think I'm just in sharper drafts because I've had him in my queue.
I have not updated this in a couple days.
Yeah.
Let me just
I've had him in my queue multiple times, and I just have been good. Like, and I mean, I drafted with you too much because you're the one I feel like that always takes him from me. I mean, I think that there's the point of a lot of this exercise is to look at these ADPs on our left and say, okay, wait, so you're telling me three LA Kings get drafted every single time? That feels odd. Okay, well, if it kind of makes some levels, but like that would mean that they should be probably all pretty good. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, and then obviously Kemper as a goalie, like he feels like a guy that there's just no way is going to repeat what he did. But then again, I mean, I've always been a fan of him relative to the field, and I feel like you have been as well. And when the Colorado Avalanche were like, yeah, screw Darcy Kemper, let's go get Georgiev, I was like, you fucking assholes, you're so stupid. And history finally rewarded me, so that was nice.
Okay, well, the pasting is not going well. If you can see my screen,
I was watching it; it didn't look good.
I'm clicking.
I can vamp about the opposite. Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm clicking on the other screen to try and paste in the new ranks, and it wants to paste on this screen for some reason. So let's just do that. We'll go back, and 85 for Fiala. There you go.
Okay. Trevor Moore jumps into the board.
Oh yeah, look at that. Good for him. Leferrier. I mean, the only downside with Leferrier is that they re-signed Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko is a right shot. He was on that top power play, and yes, if they go back to having Doughty or Clark on the power play, Kuzmenko could lose that job. But it definitely means that Leferrier is blocked from it. I mean, the guy averaged 6.5 underdog points per game last season. He was well above average in these marks, and he hits. I mean, that's really.
I was about to say, like, he hits and everything. So
yeah.
Wow.
So like
124.
So he's a guy you should mix in, I think, with a Byfield or Fiala on occasion. But also Corey Perry's also going to be sort of like that role too. So I wouldn't go overboard. Like this is certainly like, I don't think he's really a 7.5, 8 guy. Like he could just be 6.5 again. And that's probably fine. But if he's, 5.75, you're probably doomed for that pick. So I'll mix him in case he's got really good NCAA stats. I talked about him last year, and last year went about as well for him as it possibly could have. But yeah, I think last year was about the ceiling case for him.
Yeah.
No, all right. Adrian Kempe is a boss. I'm just taking him around ADP. I don't know. I haven't really fleshed out like my super strong stances at this point, but let's keep going. The Minnesota Wild, I believe some people in chat may have heard of them. They added Vladimir Tarasenko. They seemingly are going to add Danila Yurov. I'm not aware of the latest on his circumstances, but whether he starts in the AHL or NHL, I'm not sure. But yeah, what is your outlook for Minnesota right now?
Again, last year I think both went to bat for them in many capacities. I think we kind of spread around the reasons why, but the one constant was that we both were like, Kaprizov is legitimately a top 5 player in this league. I think that he was going to win the Hart if he just stayed healthy all season long. Like, I think he was miles above everybody else at the time of his injury, and miles above might be a little bit far, but I think he could have had a chance to really take a hold of it and continue onward. But man, like you run it back with this team again. I really don't see a lot of holes here, and I see some exciting young talent down the lineup that can actually score. So I'm pretty high on this team again. I'm optimistic for them that Tarasenko can actually be a bit more valuable than the nothing burger he really was in Detroit. And of course, Zeev Buoy, like that feels like an addition that could be much, much, much more impactful than the majority of the offseason moves that teams made, just because they did not have a power play quarterback. We can talk about Brock Faber until we're any color you want in the face. He was not a power play 1 quarterback. He is an incredibly good hockey player, one of the best defenders in the league. He's not a fantasy relevant guy, but that does help the team overall and hopefully can allow a guy like Buoy to take some big minutes in a fantasy impactful role. How many minutes is the question when it comes to drafting him? I will pause there because, of course, the Kaprizov, Eriksson and Boldy situation is crazy. Love all of it. Couldn't get enough of it. I was, all over Joel Eriksson all offseason. It was one of my favorite players to mention in videos. But is there any hesitation that you have on Buoy? Is there anything that you're thinking is a value like Zuccarello, or anything else you want to get off your chest about the Minnesota Wild? Or are you about to dump all over them?
They're going to do something stupid with Marco Rossi. And that's really what I'm looking forward to. It's Ryan Hartman's going to be Matt Boldy's center, and he's going to be lugging around Vladimir Tarasenko. Like, yeah, we got to take him at 24, right? Like, I don't know. It seems a little tough for me to get there. I do think Zuccarello hangs around for one more year and sort of steals those useful minutes from Boldy. Boldy's good enough to carry his own line, but for fantasy purposes, obviously you'd much prefer him on a line with Kaprizov. Zuccarello himself is an interesting case. I mean, you mentioned him. Last year he was at almost 7 underdog points per game. He's basically going undrafted right now. It's certainly the start of a downward descent for Zuccarello. You see, he was above average everything the 3 years prior to last year, and then last year, everything just dipped a little bit. It's probably going to dip further. But if you're willing to see the argument that Kaprizov missed half of last season, maybe that saves Zuccarello a little bit. So certainly in the mix late in drafts. Don't take Brock Faber. I don't know who's drafting him. Keep doing it, please. But you all shouldn't be drafting him because he's a fantasy zero. And I don't know. We're just assuming Zeev Buoy excuse me, is a better pick than Morgan Riley. I don't know.
Yeah,
no. I trust me. I think Buoy's going to be really cool and really fun, but the minutes are a concern. The shot volume is not guaranteed. I know we talked about Zane Parekh last show, and he certainly looks far riskier in that regard. Like, he has no shot volume in the OHL last season. Buoy in the NCAA at least had some shot volume. And, with considerable prospect pedigree. But is there really a chance he plays alongside Spurgeon or Faber? If not, then he should probably just be going where Shane Gostisbehere goes and not 150. So it's fine because it's not like the opportunity cost is massive, but I'm a little worried that he's drafted 100% of the time, and there's other guys who just are not, that I think are perfectly viable as well.
Yep, I nailed it. The opportunity cost on him is too high. Right. It's just there's much better guys in the same range.
Yeah, Danila Yurov, we'll circle back when we know a little bit more. But he and Ogren are like legit prospects. I think next year's the year for taking a swing because Tarasenko and Zuccarello probably phase out. But again, depends on what happens with stupid Rossi. If they trade him and they need to use Yurov as their 2C, well, there you go. I mean, you've got instant, oh, okay, we need to care about him. But if not, it's kind of like, well, we've seen this a million times. Adam Beckman, Mia Mogren, they shoot all the time in the AHL and then they just come and get benched because
I will next year. I feel like it's going to be like the cartoon when they see the attractive other cartoon and the heart eyes are popping out of their head. They're banging themselves with hammers. That's going to be us next year talking about Yurov and Ogren if they actually get a role and actually seem like they're going to be useful, because they seem like smashes in this system if that actually happens. But right now it feels like two guys that are going to be in and out of the lineup. I mean, again, Yurov, it feels like a massive question mark if he's even going to be able to, in the lineup at all. So we just have to wait, but definitely a good shout. We can move over to everyone's favorite team.
Yeah, Montreal. My boys from the opening draft. I think I successfully moved Caulfield up by a few picks.
Sure.
But yeah, good for that. Everything else here is very questionable for me. It's a little interesting, I guess, that Patrick Laine is just being completely dusted by the field. I think it's right, but again, just interesting because we don't often see overreactions like this when warranted, and he was actually okay last year. I mean, he dealt with injuries, but when he played, he was productive and he was on the power play. My big take is that I think they're going to go back to what they did in the postseason, where Demidov is top power play instead of Laine. If that's the case, Cole Caulfield is a giga uber mega smash. Because last year, recall, he certainly had periods of time where Laine was hurt that he was the focal point, but most of the time he was like floating around in the bumper on the power play, and he was still productive as hell. I mean, he was really, really good. 5-on-5, I want to say there was a point where he was leading the league in 5-on-5 goals. And this top line is going nowhere. And they also have an extra defenseman in Noah Dobson to sort of help. They actually have a good D pair now to put behind Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky without just, capping the rest of the lineup. So I think Cole Caulfield is my takeaway here. It's interesting that Suzuki is, I guess, actually looking better from a points per 60 and underdog per game standpoint last year. But I think Caulfield's the story. He's the guy I'll be steaming up, not necessarily Suzuki personally. But any thoughts on Montreal down the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, 6 guys that are in the top 115 ADP just can't be correct. Somebody's going to be bad in this mix. I don't think it'll be Caulfield. I mean, I think like Suzuki is going a little bit high, but he feels like with the centers being a bit more valuable, that there's at least something to it. I just think that it's sort of being boosted by the Caulfield drafters. I think the guy that I'm going to maybe target a bit more than others is Slavkovsky. Just because it feels like it started to come on at the end of the year. He kind of came online and started to actually matter on that power play. I do think there's a pretty high skill level that exists, but I think it could be exemplified by a guy like Demidov sort of taking away some of his responsibility and allowing him to more be the net front presence on that, power play one. And maybe getting into more of that power forward role instead of having to be a distributor of the puck. I think he can do it, but I'd rather him score more goals than try to distribute to guys like Cole Caulfield to shoot. I'm not going to be drafting much of either of these two defensemen. I think Noah Dobson is sensational, but he's not going to overtake Lane Hudson on the top power play. It feels incredibly weird to me that Noah Dobson actively wanted to go to Montreal just because of the fact that Lane Hudson's already there. Like, why do you want to go be the power play 2 guy? I don't know. Seems odd, but regardless, that's what we have here. Lane Hudson is just not good enough as far as the ancillary stats to matter in this format, but that doesn't make him a bad player. He's going to have a ton of points. He's just not going to have enough ancillary stats to be D14, and therefore I will not be drafting him.
Yeah, I mean, he feels a little Adam Fox-ish to me, where
Yeah.
like you look at Adam Fox, we'll talk about him with the Rangers, obviously, but I think there's certainly upside for him to be like this sort of unbelievably productive point producer. And, consider the fact that it's not like he's a total zero in the junior leagues as far as shooting.
Yeah.
So he could grow into that in a way that, I mean, no direct examples are coming to mind, but I
Well, I
do think
mean,
it's at least it's
honestly,
not ruled out
it's
based on his
it's
rookie
Quinn.
season
It's
to
kind
me.
of Quinn Hughes. Like we didn't really want to buy in him immediately, and
Yeah.
he kind of fed us our lunch when he
Do
decided
we
to shoot.
have
Like when did
Yeah,
Quinn
here.
Hughes fully come aboard?
Here.
You can very easily find the season, but like
Yeah,
it,
look
it
at
does
Quinn
feel similar.
Hughes in college. He basically didn't shoot, wasn't overly productive, but was just oozing skill. And then all of a sudden, come in the last year, and he was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna shoot a bazillion times." And we're like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
So it's not the most likely scenario, but it's at least a possibility.
There,
Um,
yeah, there is a bull upside case here, 100%
yeah,
on Lane Hudson, and I get why you draft. I will end up drafting him here or there, but I just don't know if I'm going to be drafting him over some others in that range that I just feel a
yeah,
little bit safer about. Like he's not going to start hitting. He absolutely has to start shooting the puck quite a bit more to get there.
okay.
But we'll see. And
The
Demidov is going way too early.
The
So
final
we'll,
guy, yes, Demidov goes too early. Keep in mind that Michkov is, I believe, just a year older than him. So it's almost like the exact same trajectory as far as playing in Russia and then coming over to the States. Michkov coming over looked like this. Unbelievably good profile in terms of shots and primary points. The sixth best prospect under 23 in the world. And this is what he produced last season. Pretty good on a team that was significantly worse than Montreal on the power play, for sure, but not like can't win without it. Now consider I don't have 2025 Demidov stats in here yet because the KHL I don't have a scraper for yet. I'm working on it, but do consider that Michkov had 41 points in 47 games with 191 shots in his final season before coming over. That equates to just under a point per game and about just under 4 shots per game. Actually, just over 4 shots a game. That's important because when you look at Demidov, he had last season 160 shots in 65 games. That is about 2.5 shots. He had 49 points in 65 games on a significantly better team in SKA St. Petersburg. So Demidov is just not as good as Michkov. He's in a better spot, but I don't think his actual spot in the lineup is all that useful. And you're really dependent on both power play production and getting some ancillary stats that we just haven't seen from him the way we have Michkov. So this ADP is obnoxious. We just got to stop it. And yeah, hopefully I can move him back down to where he belongs in the 110s and move up some guys who are actually good picks there.
Yep. So yeah, let's get over to New Jersey. I would say this is a team that I'm really quite fond of. I think that this is a much better team than maybe I believe the majority of the media is giving credit for right now.
Quinn Hughes, right? Just plug him in. Are we just plugging him in?
The Vancouver fans are gonna love it. There's no way Dougie and him could exist on this team. But regardless, yeah, I find this team to have 3 pretty good lines. And then you look at that fourth line and you're like, actually, they kind of have 4 good lines because like Dadonov, Glass, and Cotter, it's kind of like the perfect fourth line. Like good defensively, can actually produce offense. Like they don't have to play a bunch, but like they can kind of do it all. And I'm just sitting here just gushing. I'm gushing over this team. Picking up Connor Brown, who I think will at least add some nonsense that needs to have nonsense because all the teams have to have that kind of garbage going on at all times. And just, I don't know, Hughes, Pesci, Dylan, Hamilton, Siegenthaler, and Kovalcevic. Like this is like, I just don't see a hole here. I don't see anything where I'm like, nah, that elite upside Jack Hughes. Like I'm in on the Devils. I'm in.
the whole is when you take a gun and you shoot 47 bullets into this roster and 6 of them miss extended periods of time like last season.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I would have picked them. I think if they were fully healthy, like I think they would have been one of my cut picks for sure. And then we went into the playoffs, like I think they're better than people give them credit for, but they're going to lose in 6, and they're like, well, you're right. I think it was 5 actually. Yeah, I'm really excited for this New Jersey Devils team. I'm very much. I've already said it. Like I'm very high on Jack Hughes. I think 11.5. That is exactly the right spot. Like that's where he should be going. But I'll be clicking the button there. Brat maybe a little bit early for me. But and then Nico Hischier, I'm very, very, very in on. He continues to rise, but like I said, I think it's well warranted. And Luke Hughes is flying up the boards in incredible fashion. So he started to shoot, like he was shooting, and then he got an arm injury of some sort and stopped shooting because his arm was hurt. Tough, but I think he actually has it.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last show where I was like, I'm Luke Hughes curious. I personally am not sure he has fantasy beast in his arsenal. But for these prices, I'm not totally opposed to finding out. But not going to be someone I'm overly exposed to, at least early on, because I do think the Dougie Hamilton situation could change. They have Seamus Casey and Simone Nemec that you see here. They're not in the lineup. So Dougie Hamilton is expendable. I believe his no trade protection shifted as of July 1st. So that is a big hammer that is yet to fall. And if he does move, Luke Hughes will fly up the board, but I'm also not overly worried that I'm missing out on something by not taking him necessarily over the likes of, Shea Theodore and some other guys who go in this range that I also really like, maybe a little earlier. But anyway, the final thought is, generally speaking, Jacob Markstrom is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. They re-signed Jake Allen to a 5-year deal, which is kind of funny, but super cheap AAV. I wonder if that's a signal that they don't want to use Markstrom much. I mean, they have 2 older goalies now, and maybe they just want to limit him to 45 starts in a season. And they've told Jake Allen that. That's why they gave him 5 years, and he said, okay. I don't know, because last year he went around pick 55, 60 and was not very good for advancement. New Jersey got hurt and lost a bunch, but even when they were winning, they didn't have much volume against them. It was very bizarre. I mean, there was like a stretch of 2 weeks where I think Jacob Markstrom saw like 18 shots per night. It was psychotic. So that volume concern does kind of get to me. So yeah, I'm a little bit like, I'll just let others take Jake Markstrom personally, but if he gets 55 starts, he's a really good pick here. So I'm not really sure where I stand on that at this moment, but did want to point that out.
The Devils being so good almost hurts his value. I actually agree, and I do think that there's a chance that he misses. I've taken him, but I just think that he's fine in a 3 goalie rotation and you're underdog, and there will be spike weeks, so it is what it is. But last year he was going a bit too early.
For example, goalies last year who I have having a better expected value than him. Joseph Woll, who completely lost the net. John Gibson, who obviously got outshined. Jonas Korpisalo. I mean, some guys here that you're like, maybe not the goalie that I
Markstrom missed time too, but whatever.
He did.
We'll keep it moving. If we want to get through Pittsburgh, we should probably keep it going.
All right, we're setting the mark on Pittsburgh. Damn,
that's right. 10. That would be 10.
Okay, well, I can count. I definitely can count. Nashville. They have a few guys who are relevant. Roman Josi is fine, but also not fine health-wise. Very strange. With an Olympic year, are they going to push him? I don't know. These questions I think are legitimate around Roman Josi, because if healthy, Josi probably deserves to go where Dahlin goes. Well, actually, let me check latest ADP. They go right around each other. Okay, cool. So maybe he goes a little ahead of Dahlin, all told, but it seems like there's a lot of downside here that is not currently baked in. And then if you want a Nashville Predator not named Philip Forsberg, he's yours. So any interest here? Any thoughts on this lineup?
I mean, if I'm buying back in on anybody, it's probably Marchessault. Feels like he got a bit of unluckiness on top of just never really finding the right role for him. And I don't love this team, but I do think there's some young talent that could pop in and maybe allow for Marchessault to stick with Forsberg. And if that is the case, then maybe he could, like I said, get some of that regression back, start getting more opportunity to shoot the puck. But yeah, this team isn't all that exciting to go to crazy to bat for. Matt Wood and some of these other prospects. I mean, I'm really high on Kamel, but they just refuse to call him up and play him. So, but like none of these prospects outside of Matt Wood feel incredibly relevant. And it doesn't, I must not trip. There's a role for him to actually have fantasy relevance. So
yeah, the main problem with Matt Wood to me is that he's a finisher type prospect and not necessarily a coordinator, like someone who will make Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchessault better. If they had someone like that, I would definitely be interested. But yeah, it's worth noting Kemel doesn't even make Wheeler's list of drafted prospects. I don't know if that's because he's graduated or because he's bad. But yeah, Brady Martin's not making the league this year, I don't think. But
I'd be
that's
pretty surprised.
They certainly have a spot for him if they if they think he's good enough. He's not taking the spot away from Fedor Svechkov, IMO. So like it's certainly possible he comes in and is just a top line player from day one. But yeah, that's the only thing I would be watching for. I'm
fine boy.
pretty much in on Forsberg and about Marchessault's fine, and that's about it here.
I've drafted Yossi. I'm not going to be too much of a coward, but I definitely get the hesitation.
All right.
We move to the Islanders, a team that has 0 players right now being drafted in the top 100. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? I think the player Anders Lee is the one that I want to like shout out the most here, just because he really did it in all categories last year. The question is, can he do it again? You already have it up top, like Drouin coming in. It kind of feels like he's going to be taking one of these top 6 spots away. So it really just comes down to, is he going to remain in the top 6? Because he was an all categories guy that cashed in a number of goals down low. I'm interested to see how they put this lineup together. But yeah, I'm not a lot of comfy clicks here.
Yeah, Kel Ritchie could make something interesting here.
Right.
I don't know where he slots in all honesty. It feels like he's just a Cal Palmieri replacement for next season. Cole Yzerman as well. Like they have some young guys who could step in, but like, if you told me right now, Siplikov gets sent to Siberia and it's, Cole Yzerman alongside Barzell, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm listening.
Yeah.
But I just, you just don't know what's going to transpire here lineup wise, and I'm not willing to stick my neck out for anyone. So Horvat, I will be interested in. I think I've just taken other guys around that ADP so far, but otherwise, like I'm not taking Matthew Schaefer. Yeah, it's possible he does stuff, but like Tony D, I think is just their power play 1 guy. I don't think they want to overload Schaefer at the moment, and the team's just not good enough to support him, even if he does get full run, in my opinion. So, he looks cool, but I'm not sure it's there.
I'll probably continue to get some Matt Barzal as well, as he kind of feels like he's slipping. It feels like people are just kind of looking at the production last year and not remembering the whole story on him. So I'd be willing to go to bat on him a bit. He really was shooting the puck a lot at the end of the previous season and showing all of the flashes of being an elite upside player. And I think at the 110 range, you're buying an incredibly skilled player that, if he does take back that role on a team that's just a little bit better than we think, which again, like I said, I don't think this Islanders team is good, but what if they're the 12th worst team? They get there by Matt Barzal having, a point per game. And I think that's in his range of outcomes unequivocally. Like I thought it last year, and he had injuries that plagued him all season long until he was finally done. I'm willing to buy back in.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about Sorokin earlier, so no need to go back to that. I personally think the Rangers are really interesting. I think Lafreniere is actually the least interesting of the bunch. Like Will Cooley stands out to me Their entire top power play is very intriguing. I just, and then we also have options like Gabe Perreault, who could step in if absolutely necessary. Scott Morrow too. Like, it's not likely that those guys make an impact, but it just means that I think this team's actually going to be quite good. I don't know what happened last year. I feel like if we try to spend time worrying about it, we're just wasting our time. But like I talked about Zibanejad, I'm just buying on the long term. That he's not completely dusted at this point, but he's been a productive player for most of his career. I think the role is about as good as it gets when you assume Lafreniere stays with Trocheck Panarin, and then JT Miller centers the second line with Cooley and Zibanejad. Cooley is an awesome just force on the ice. He's going to be the guy that people are like, Alexei Protas, I've never heard of him, when he's just having an awesome year.
Yep.
I think that's totally in the range of outcomes here. So while I would be interested in drafting Will Cooley, I mean, we saw him put up 7 points a game on Underdog last season. He's basically going undrafted, and they just moved Chris Kreider out of town, meaning if they want to put him net front, they certainly could. It just means you're freezing out Zibanejad or JT Miller from your power play, presumably. It's there for him, and all the stats are there, and the pedigree and such is there. But Mika Zibanejad's the guy that I'm just like, I don't know how I pass up the upside. And maybe I'm just, a sucker and he's just completely done. But I don't think I think he's got a couple good seasons left in him still with this setup.
Yeah, I think this is really the opposite of the Montreal effect of like every one of these guys is probably going a little bit too low. And I crazy enough, you can actually convince me that Mika Zibanejad is going a little bit low, which is like something I never would have thought would be the case. I mean, even honestly, Adam Fox, like I know we kind of said, pretty similar to Lane Hudson. It's like, yeah, but he's done it multiple times, and Lane Hudson has kind of done it once. I mean, he did it, like enough to make you feel something. I could be convinced to draft any of those 5, at ADP. Like I like Panarin more than Matt Tkachuk. Sue me, with the injuries and everything else. I like, I love Trocheck. He's one of those other comfy clicks I really like. I think JT Miller is tougher to click on, but I get the ancillary stats. He does hit, he does block shots. He's kind of in all, but I do worry about, what I worry about is exactly what you said though. Will Cooley, I really worry he'll take the net front spot in the top power play. If they go that route, who loses their spot? That's the only concern. It's not going to be Panarin. It's not going to be Fox. I really don't think it'd be Trocheck. I kind of feel like it should be JT Miller, but are they actually going to do that? I don't know. So there is some risk on that second line, but overall, I really like it. I honestly love their offseason. Like I love Gavrikov going with Fox. I think that's going to be a really, really good fit there. I mean, I think K'Andre Miller's a better fantasy, fun upside, this, that, the other thing, but like, I really don't know. Like there's a couple of holes on this defense that probably should be figured out if, but like getting into kind of the broader picture at this team. But I actually think this is, like you're saying, this is a bounce back candidate team 100% with the best goalie in the world.
Yeah. And they have, USA gold medal winning coach Mike Sullivan behind the bench, and maybe one of the biggest positive influences of the offseason, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a necessity. Sometimes teams actually do something smart, and that was one of them. Bravo.
All right. Yeah. Igor, goalie 4. I think that makes sense. Jonathan Quick is not going to play more than 20, 25 starts at absolute maximum. So 55, 60 seems locked in for Igor. Therefore, yeah, take him when the goalies start going for sure. All right. Ottawa. Freaking Stützle. God damn it. Just fix your name, bud. Fix your name.
Yeah. Come on, man. Right. No, they got an umlaut.
I'm not sure if that's it or if is he just tanking down the board, or am I missing it? Now I gotta check.
I think he's falling a little, but
there we go. Yeah, it's just they just don't have the umlaut on Underdog, but Natural Stat Trick uses the E. There we go. Yeah, thoughts on Ottawa?
I mean, they're good. I think they're a pretty good team. I love Jake Sanderson. Again, one of the guys we had. I believe we both were very in on last year. I think Brady is justifiable at around the 10, 11, 12 mark. I haven't clicked on the button yet, last year we were immediately punished early on in the season as he was the clear number one player in the underdog scoring system it felt like the first 2 months of the year, and then just cratered in perpetuity until he ended up, I'm guessing, being a basic nothing towards the end. I love Tim Stützle. He doesn't shoot enough for me to feel good about clicking on him anywhere around that range. So I'll be waiting until he falls into like the 50-60 range. Like, I don't really understand why he's still at 38, but it is what it is. Batherson, I could see myself clicking the button, but again, I think there's a lot of other guys in that range I like more at different positions, and I'm often clicking on those centers, honestly, to get my second guy in, like Trocheck and Hischier. And I'll probably buy back in on Dylan Cousins because I'm a sucker.
Yeah, you see former Buffalo Sabre and your siren just goes nuts. They're like, yep, this guy's going to be Jack Eichel. Just everyone who gets traded is going to be Jack Eichel. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I am relatively opposed to Ottawa as an organization. I think they're relatively boring. I'm not sure they really have a ton of dynamism. Like Tim Stützle, they just go, oh, well, he's actually the greatest player in NHL history. And it's like, well, okay. I don't think so, but sure, I guess. And so I just feel like a lot of that trickles down into, honestly, a lot of these. I mean, Jake Sanderson at 68 feels a little wild considering he wasn't even above average point production wise like last season. Yeah, he plays a ton of minutes, that helps, but like in order to be D10, you need to do stuff, and he did a little bit of stuff, but I don't know how much more upside there is for him than 8 fantasy points a game. And yeah, I think I want to just wait on defense at that point, given the options at the forward positions that I'm losing and the goalies in that range. Just I feel much more confident in. So count me out on Ottawa, but no, there's no but. I really don't think there's any change that could happen that I'm like, actually, this guy's really good. But
yeah,
they're all just seem a little expensive for me.
Yeah, I mean, none of them feel great. I don't think I've clicked on, and I think I've only clicked on one Dylan Cousins is the only thing I've done so far. The more I think about it, because yeah, there's just always other guys that are a little bit better in the range. I don't know. I get what you're saying, and really the only player I think that I continue to kind of go back to is Linus Ullmark, because it feels like if they're actually good, it's because Ullmark's going to see the net quite a bit. I think that they, I think he's one of the better clicks at goalie.
Did I mention this, or did I just look at it and not say it? That when you look at last year, expected value wise, Linus Ullmark is goalie 3 in the league behind Gustafsson and Hellebuck. I found that really interesting. Remember,
but yeah, I think he's obviously very, very good.
Yeah, and part of that's I think because they got really hot down the stretch. Maybe I'm just wrong there, but
no, you're right. I mean, they did. Yeah, and he went nuclear.
And so when I do my expected value stuff, I'm trying to mimic we're drafting for the playoffs, meaning, later on in the season. So when the first few months are dog shit, like Ullmark's kind of were, you're not punished nearly as much. But he advanced 23% of teams to the playoffs in the regular season last year, and he had a really good playoff performance. So yeah, that all makes sense to me. And he went at 60 last year, and now he's going at 75. So if you buy on Ottawa, certainly be buying on Linus Ullmark. They did not bring any goaltenders in. I believe Anton Forsberg actually moved on, so it's Levi Meriläinen now.
Yeah, Meriläinen, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Did Forsberg go to LA?
I think that's right. Yeah,
I think that's right. Yeah, Meriläinen. People seem really high on him as well as a prospect, but regardless, yep, okay. 2 more teams. I'm trying to check if the lobby still needs 2 more to join, because we could also jump in before it fills, but I don't know where that's at. Philly it's a curious case because I really, really like that top line. I obviously am a Michkov slappy. And then the Konechny guy last year, I went over how much I like Konechny. I said I liked him more than Tippett. I somehow was right. Even though it felt like that should not have been correct.
That is like the definition of like smashing your dick in a door to prove that your dick's actually broken or something. But yeah. The
I
way
don't
that
know,
Owen
like,
Tippett was just abused by Torts and just never given any possibility to do anything.
yeah, like I was wrong, but I got it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
failed successfully, I suppose would be the way I put it. Like, so yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot to say about. I mean, again, I think first and foremost, Michkov and Konechny probably going a little bit early. I for my liking, to be entirely transparent, I get buying on upside in Michkov. Konechny feels fine at best, just because he's going to get a ton of run. But on a team that's pretty bad, and I just don't know if if they're smart enough to actually fix the power play, and get it to its best potential. Hopefully under new leadership behind the bench, they can actually run the best unit for more time. That's really the upside case for probably connecting, getting back to a level, and I guess ancillary stats as well. Is there anything on the top line that you want to mention before we kind of get into everything else that's probably a bit more interesting?
No, I mean, we know the Michkov dance. I personally don't have any Michkov yet at this point, so we'll see. I think I've mostly been in the front half of the draft, and ADP 60 is like the definition of like the 12 pick, so that I think that's part of it. But yeah, it does feel like the people are buying this the some of the growth that is likely to come for him this season. But yeah, it's tough to see the team around him really helping him unless Tocchet is going to do good stuff, which by the way, the PDO cast with Dmitry Filipovich and Thomas Drance this past week had Tocchet on their pod, and it was really, really good. Highly encourage you to listen to it if you're eager to listen to some hockey talk. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it.
The
Anyway,
question was levied of what center do we want in Philly? The answer seems obviously none of them to me.
yeah.
Are you going to make a case for anyone?
No,
Sorry,
I
I
mean,
didn't say
if we're talking,
Cates. I said Case, not Cates.
no, we're talking. I mean, Zegras is a wing on underdog,
He is a
even,
wing.
but like,
Yep.
I'm not a Zegras slappy. I think he could, I think he could work to make Michkov better, but yeah, I'm not taking Sean Couturier. I really like Sean Couturier. I will be taking him early on in DFS, but I don't think for a full season contest, he's a guy that I have any interest in. And Noah Cates, this line, I think they're just a really, really good third line, and therefore they're not fantasy relevant. And yeah, no one else here even really matters. Let me do a quick check, make sure I'm not missing, because let's see, Porter Martone, well, he's a wing, probably wouldn't play. Jet Luchenko, I guess, could make the team. Let me just plug him in and see what happens.
You do that. My green screen fell.
Oh, AHL. Your green screen fell. All right, let me do some quick surgery then. While you do some quick surgery, let me delete that Luchenko AHL stint so I can get a better sense of his other stats. Okay, please go away. Luchenko. Yikes. Yeah, Luchenko did not do much in the OHL. Holy shit, that is brutal. So yeah, I don't really think I care about any centers in Philly then, and that's a problem. Oh, here we go. It's updating now. I just jumped the gun a bit.
I was kind of sad.
Wait, fuck. I shouldn't have done that. Should do this. Okay, he still didn't shoot.
Yeah,
so it's
he
fine.
started in the NHL last year, and it kind of felt like a candidate to like stick with the team.
This is what he did. It was not
didn't
good.
Do anything. It was very strange. Honestly, the Flyers are just a very strange team.
Torts is gone, so who knows if that changes.
Yeah, it might. I mean, again, last year it was like, is Tyson Forrester going to get there? And it seems like at times you saw him come to fruition, and then at other times he was just vanished. A lot of, obviously the fourth line of the guys that are going to hit people or the guys that are going to hit people. This lineup build that you have together, I'll be honest, is not what I would probably assume it's going to be. But how could anyone predict it right now with just the uncertainty around what is Tocchet going to do? And the top line will probably be that, but the rest, the next two lines with Zegras and stuff, like I have no idea what this is going to look like exactly. So I am excited to see what this team does. let's just get to maybe the defenseman quickly, because last year people were, I don't remember where, drafting Travis Sanheim, but pretty freaking early, if I do recall correctly. He's now going, bless you again, about undrafted. So is Jamie Drysdale, who gets his best friend Trevor Zegras into the fold. Both of them were obviously bad last year, but is there a defenseman that you could actually click the button on in Philly?
No.
Okay.
I tried the Jamie Drysdale game. He was pretty disappointing. He got a bunch of minutes. He just didn't do much with them. So that dragon is sufficiently chased. I think he plays on that power play. But again, I think that all just serves to make Michkov better as a fantasy monster. So, yeah, I don't have any interest in Sanheim or York or anyone else they could throw at me. All right.
It's to our final team. The next draft needs 7. I did join it. If you want to jump in, you can feel free. But
let's draft.
Bring us to needing 6. Anyone else can join if they've been waiting, and we will finish up with the Penguins. And I'll keep an eye on my other screen when that starts. So, what we see right now for the Pittsburgh Penguins, I don't believe will be the case for the actual roster when everything's said and done. I'm still under the impression that Brian Rust is going to be moved. I think that's maybe paused. Maybe there's other things to be figured out before that comes to full circle. I think that there was a feeling, at least from listening to, others that are smarter than me and more connected than me, that Dubas wanted to see, once everything was settled in free agency, if that actually brought a few more teams that were a little bit more desperate for him into the fold. We're getting to that point. Will it actually happen? I know there's been teams kicking the tires on him and Raquel. Will that move either of them up? Both of them very, 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 very productive, I'd say, last year, all things considered. Of course, one of them was glued to Sidney Crosby while the other one wasn't. Do you think that Rust or Raquel being traded will help or hurt them? I mean, obviously, it's very dependent on the situation, but
I don't know how much better it gets than playing with Sidney Crosby, honestly.
Yeah.
And even like, so this lineup obviously wasn't the case for most of last year because Rutger and Koivunen weren't with the team, and they ran some games. Rust, Sid, Raquel. I mean, Malkin was very much relegated to a second-tier citizen on this team. But even so, I still think he's capable of facilitating offensively. So it would have to be a very perfect spot, I think. Like in New Jersey, for example, springs to mind with this Andre Palat sized hole in the lineup. For me to be like, yeah, that's a clear upgrade. So if I'm more confident in one of these guys getting traded, I less like their ADP, honestly. Just because I don't think they can play 20 minutes in most teams in the league.
New Jersey does it with a guy like Nemec. I mean, there are guys that they could, and then attaching Nemec and then they move out Palat and maybe another guy that has some cap that they can get rid of. It's doable. I think that's that's the best landing spot for Rust. While there's some others where I do worry about how it exactly fits. But I do think he moves. I don't know about Raquel. I think that there's a desire, obviously, to get some younger players that like Tomasino, but maybe a bit better prospect pedigree that still exists. Just to continue to try to see what they can turn over. I mean, Koivunen was very good last year, all things considered. I still think that the majority of this seems about right as far as where these players are going. Are you willing to buy back in on Erik Karlsson? Is there another player that maybe isn't getting drafted that you might consider, or are you going to go back to bat for Evgeny Malkin?
I will not be going to bat for Evgeny Malkin. Okay. I would need to see a Rust or Raquel trade in order to do so, just because I don't think he's a lock for the top power play. No. They used Koivunen in his role last year, and it was fine. I think he makes sense there. They made him a priority in the Gensel trade with Carolina 2 years ago, and I think they're going to try to keep the youth movement coming. And obviously Sid is Sid, but everyone else is a little iffy. Erik Karlsson, if he gets traded, I think he's the guy who benefits from being traded, just because I don't know that there's many teams that would take an Erik Karlsson, and not put him on the top power play. Now, obviously, Mike Sullivan's gone, so that probably doesn't happen again. But like Matt Grzelcyk got significant run on their top power play last year. I just don't think that happens again. And I saw enough from him with Team Sweden to know that if he's surrounded by talent, he can be super mesmerizing with the puck still. And he showed he's not afraid to shoot. So that's really all I need to know that Erik Karlsson has some juice. The price is very not prohibitive at all. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be high on Erik Karlsson once again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been drafting him, and I think he's fallen, if anything, just because of the situation in Pittsburgh. But the reality is that the real problem in Pittsburgh is that they have one line that functions, and then like nothing. And if he's not always out there with that one line that's functioning, and he wasn't, like at times it was the Letang pairing, then well, he can go fuck himself. Like there's no one to play with him. Like there's nothing to produce at an elite level. But like I said, I think they're not quite at the finished product line yet. And I'm not sure if all three of those players move, but I think at least one of them will before the season starts. A lot of teams have cap space. A lot of teams have a desire to get better. And they're really the only seller left on the table that feels in full sell mode. So I can't imagine there won't be a fit that comes through. It's just who gets it done. I believe that, like you said, we're starting now. Anyways, you're going to get fucking McDavid again because you're an asshole.
That's so cool.
It is what it is. So I will let you get ready to share your screen. But yeah, I mean, I think that like, and it was asked earlier, like which team is going to be surprising. And if you're just looking at like the general capacity, it depends on what surprising means to you. Like, I think that I could see myself putting a little bit of money on the Devils to win the East, for example. Like, I think they could be that level surprising. Like, I think they could be one of the best teams if they don't catch the injury bug. I think the Rangers could be surprising if you are maybe living under a rock and you just think that because they missed the playoffs last year, they're just dust. But like, I don't think many people would be surprised to see them back in the playoff fold. And then I don't know if I would be like, I don't know if there's anything we talked about today that I'm like, oh, well, what if they just sucked, comparatively to where they were last year? But yeah, I don't know. This draft is starting. Matt is still not pulled up his stuff.
I'm working on it. We're getting there.
I've been reminded who Lay Lake or Lay LA King UF, or I don't know, however he says it is. And I know he's probably in here, but
Layla Cuff.
I know it's someone that watches us, and I'm not sure if they're watching us today. But this does look like a friends and family chat. Oh my god, yeah. And Matt, what do you know? There it is. Tickle my DGen. I mean, it's like Tickle my Elmo, but more up my alley. Also, I'm not on dark mode, and I don't like that. Even though people can't see my screen, I get worried that they might like my camera might fall and show my screen's not on dark mode, and I could get made fun of. Okay, Matthews 3. Yeah, it's okay. It's you. Yeah,
shown himself.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say there's no like I know who it is, and I just can't. I can't put the pieces together because it's not obvious. Oh, we got Wookiee in here, Turbo. This is a friends and family draft. We love to see them. Yeah, Matthews going third is pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm just going through comments from when we were talking about stuff. Malik also mentioned on Pittsburgh, they do have a 5-game week in the playoffs. So if these guys manage to survive into, on Pittsburgh into the playoffs, that could be very useful, a la the Rangers from 2 years ago, where they had a 5-game week and like Lafreniere won me a bunch of money, even though he was bad for most of the season because he just smashed that week.
6 overall is not what I would have done.
Let's go. That's huge.
I was sitting here like, all right, I don't know. Am I going to take Makar? And then I got Kaprizov at 8, so I'm not going to cry. Like I said, I mean, I think like you could very easily convince me that Kaprizov is the 4th best player in Underdog. I could hear that argument all day, but like you could make that argument for Kucherov, Pasternak, Draisaitl, Kaprizov, like all of them. The argument's there. So yeah, I will take it. The problem with taking Kaprizov and Rantanen and stuff is that you often find yourself in a situation where you get locked into probably having to take a second winger. I'm not offended by taking Connor, Forsberg, or Nylander. I feel like Nylander's been the consistent faller out of sort of this quadrant. Do you think losing Marner helps him? Like, I feel like it only gives him more opportunity.
Yeah, I don't really think it matters, honestly. I mean, Nylander and Marner can't have spent more than like 100 minutes together at 5-on-5
Yeah.
the last 2 seasons, so like that doesn't matter. And the power play, like you're probably losing some efficiency, but trading it off for more puck touches. So yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
a wash for me. And
I continue to think he's going to rise, and he just doesn't. But I'll take Forsberg at 17. I'll get kind of a rare connection since he's a 13.5 ADP and is normally going, but just, not getting Kaprizov at 8 is a little bit rare, not anything crazy, but getting Kaprizov and Forsberg feels a little bit different. So that puts you back on the clock. I have a guess at who you're going to take, but yep. All right. I can watch your screen as you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna do something a little like I'll just get a stud goalie that I like and see if
Malik.
What
will
Malik
do? Well, he has all the authority to take Jason Robertson from you if he wants to. He obviously knows if he doesn't take him, he's never getting back anyways. So it just comes down to what he wants. He takes Braden Point.
Is he? No, he's not autoing then. Interesting.
He probably just had it queued and was thinking. Or he is autoing. Very brave of him. We don't often think about how brave it is to auto draft when you're actively commenting on screen. And Ottinger. And welcome, Matt, to Vasi, Robertson, Connor McDavid. A nice little start. Macklin, every draft, Macklin Celebrini goes earlier and earlier. He's 27 ADP now. I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not actually going to cry about it. Like, his shooting last year was pretty crazy. But man, like, all right, there goes Quinn Hughes. I was actually thinking, like, I might have to click Quinn Hughes. Don't I? Shit. Now what? Do I actually do it?
Steven Stamkos at 32. Throwback to last year.
No.
Oh, he's staring at Tage Thompson. Okay, I see.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start 3 wingers. I'm gonna do it.
He's brave.
I need it. I wanted Cole Caulfield so bad, and he actually got to me. I was like, I might just click Quinn Hughes because I don't know if he's gonna fall ever. I mean, I got Tage Thompson. I said anytime you give me him at 38, 40, wherever the heck he was. I mean, what was my first draft? Where did he go?
40, I think.
I'm gonna look. Yeah,
I will. I think you had like the 9, and you took him in the 4th round.
43. I mean,
okay.
I mean that's you're dancing, laughing, you're giggling, you're just skipping all the way home. 33 is when it's like, all right, that's probably right. I mean, you're talking now.
This is awesome.
Yeah, GA getting cocked.
The Boldy. Yeah, somehow you get sniped on Boldy when he gets taken 25 picks ahead of ADP is something.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm now about to be back on the clock, and I'm going to be put in a very interesting circumstance. The situation I'm about to have unfolding in front of me of, do I actually click the Roman Josi with Philip Forsberg? I mean, I think I do. I mean, I'm not that worried about the diagnosis. Like, it sounds like he should be fine to play. I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy on the upside. I'm going to buy it. Forsberg Josi. It's been tougher to get than I feel like I thought it would be. Maybe not. I don't really know. But I'm going to grab it here. I'm not taking Stützle. I mean, Gunther's the next guy sort of I want, but going 4 wings off the jump, it's tough. I could have taken Suzuki to go with Caulfield, but man, I mean, Roman Josi was the best defenseman 2 years ago. And then a bunch of, it feels like some stuff kind of accumulated, but I don't know, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm going to jump on it here and see what happens. Right now with no centers through the first 4 rounds. I don't love that, but
I'm slapping it up. Connor Bedard season. Let's go. My first share.
Hee-haw.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
We needed like a new like walrus sound for being a slappy. You know what I mean? Like you know.
Isn't
I don't
that
know.
is that what the
pretty good,
seals
right?
do? Or
I don't know. Maybe both. I'm not a marine biologist like you.
That's fair. I do have much experience in marine biology.
Always talking about how your marine biology
Oh
career.
my god. Go away, stupid screens. All right, here we go.
Okay, so let me, no. Oh, actually, this is exactly what I want to do. What does Nashville go with? Pull it up again.
Why don't you just go to the Discord and
Oh my
look?
god! Why don't you just go to the Discord?
I will.
Hold on.
Look at this. I went to the Discord and looked.
I'm almost up. Oh,
Nashville, Seattle Islanders and Rangers. Uh-oh.
Whoops a doozy.
Oh, I just closed Discord. Oh no, I didn't. That was weird.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Let's see what I better get ready to learn Sorokin again.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Well, I mean,
what
the Islanders? Okay, but this has nothing to. Okay, so Ilya Sorokin has nothing to do with Forsberg or Yossi. So why does the schedule matter at all? Like,
okay, well, could you wait till everything's done?
You just like Sorokin so much. You're just like, I just want it. I just want it.
The world has not stopped quite yet. There's a plan.
Okay,
it's just not done.
Okay.
Let him cook.
He's cooking.
Will I be able
ahead of Hagel? Very interesting.
Impressive, really, and Konechny technically. I mean, and there goes Saros. Never mind. I actually thought I was going to be able to tag them both. That was the plan.
Wow.
The plan.
All right.
What
Nathan.
can you do? All right, Turbo. Uyghur. Wookie. Don't fuck me. Don't you fuck me.
Oh.
He didn't fuck me.
I don't even know what you were.
Relation.
Oh, okay.
Eriksson, Kaprizov, Forsberg, Yossi. I did not get Suzuki Caulfield, but there's other options out there. I'm not worried. You're worried.
I've never been worried a day in my life.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh crap, I could double tap goalie here and just get Saros to work and get like a bazillion starts for the two of the worst teams in the league. I got to do it.
Hey.
Boob Titsky goes one before Matt. You're 2-1-1-1.
I will take Logan and I'll just take whoever. I guess I haven't taken a Hyman yet, despite my 4 McDavids. So maybe I'll get him. Yeah, I think Layla's auto-drafting, which is very strange.
I'm not thrilled about Eriksson being my first center, but he is.
Wait.
No.
What the hell?
Yeah. I don't know, Malik. You've cooked up something, Matt. You are on the clock. I really wanted to get one of those goalies back to me. I mean, I thought Thompson wasn't going to get there, but I was really optimistic that someone would slip, and they did not. Alas,
it's not auto. Is it ranks, or is it just? I mean, you can still save this. I mean, this is still like okay. It changes every time a pick moves. The 101, I think, can still be saved because you need to score 2 flexes a week. I mean, so right away you're saying Nathan McKinnon's probably your center, but you need to cobble together wings very quickly, obviously. Like you probably need to take 6 wings between now and round 14, and then you need to take, I guess, your 3 defensemen, take 2 of them super late and 1 of them somewhere in here. I think that's possible, but yeah, obviously I would much have preferred a DeBrincat over Aiden Hill or Olmark or something, just to be a little bit less dependent on a very thin thin pool of wings.
More Nico for me. Yum.
Yes.
He's starting to get to a spot where I don't really want to be clicking on him anymore, but I did just click on him. So
yeah, this is just like watching DJ's YouTube videos from last summer. Joel Eriksson Ek, Nico Hischier. Where do you get your ideas? And it's from last summer.
I mean, I talked about Cole Caulfield, but I don't think I went insanely in depth because it kind of just felt like, oh yeah, the guy at the freaking third round turn is going to be good, and he was exactly what I hoped he'd be. So, but yeah, no,
Not on
I
Team USA.
just, the cowards that run that Team USA are really quite cowardice. It's actually pretty hilarious how gutless they are. God, yeah, goalies have evaporated into a fine powder. That's good to know.
Well, at least you got your 75th share of Nico Hischier.
This is true. Remember the summer of Devin Levi? That's next summer. Not this summer, next summer. God, I don't like any of this shit. I'm fucking scared. I'm gonna do Wheelers. I haven't gotten any Wheelers yet. He's kind of fallen into the right spot. Yeah, answer that question. Yep.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on doing two centers from the same team with the extra flex? I think I've tapped it a time or two. I'm not making that like a fixture or anything. Like it's fine, but obviously it works better from a theoretical standpoint when they're opposing positions. But yeah, the extra flex does make a lot of stacking and builds just more feasible. So yeah, it's fine. I would not just not do it. It looks like right here, Tickle My Degen did it. Not sure if that's, I mean, I recognize the name. Maybe, oh, I'm on the clock. Shit. Oh, I can't be auto drafting Demidov.
Doug Dimmadome. Toner the Dimsdome. Oh my God. 2, 1.
That's fine.
Oh boy. Malik, it's time to see what you can cook.
Yeah, let's see.
Back to back. Take Bob Thomas.
Or another goalie.
And Lane Hudson and Matt Barzal. Okay.
We're recovering.
Those were the positions you needed to do.
All right. Do I go?
Okay. Yeah. Well, Mark, I apologize. Wait, Mark, are you? I'm guessing you're whoever has Aho. So are you Giant? Oh, Giant Mark III. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. No, I sniped you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was actually like, Aho's already gone. Shit. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. What am I gonna do next? What will I do? Coming up here. Couple picks. Got a lot of needs. Got a lot of wants and needs, really, and desires. Dorofeyev goes. Okay.
Yep, this Dorofeyev steaming up the boards is very bad for me.
Yeah, your poor bags.
I wish I had a lot more than the one share I got of him at like 125, and I'm like, this is great. I will say probably doing another draft, but not doing it on stream, Rabona. Thank you for asking, but yeah, it's getting pretty late. After we're done with these previews, we'll be able to do multiple drafts in a stream, no problem. It's just we want to talk about every team in a purely theoretical standpoint before we get into the drafts, just because I
will probably join from my coffers. Is that the right word? Coffers?
I think so.
It might be. From my domicile, from my haberdashery.
Yeah. All right.
That's definitely not the right word.
Now we're talking about a friends and family draft without Noah in here, so Demidov is just hanging out.
We're getting to Demidov range. I you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. If the next 4 people don't take him, I'll grab that 113.
Oh shit! With Cole Caulfield.
With Cole Caulfield, if he slips to 113, I'm gonna do it. Call me brave. Call me the bravest person you've ever met. He goes.
TR Miller's too brave for you.
He said, "You think you're brave?" Yeah. And again, the coward in me did jump on Stolarz because I was getting too scared. I was getting buried at the goalie avalanche. So I did consider it actually before, but I'm like, whatever. I'll give it a minute. This is actually getting quite interesting. I mean, goalie is a spot. Defense is starting to make me feel something. I have both guys that could go with Dobson or Hamilton.
Ooh la la.
I'll go Dougie. I haven't taken him at all. Whether he stays, whether he goes, he's still Dougie Hamilton. He's still one of the best fantasy producers when healthy. So I'm gonna say if he's there, he's gonna be around the Nico Hischier situation, and if he's gone, hopefully he's on an elite power play.
Oh, the Dorify hurdle wraparound. That's fun. I like that.
Yeah, that's I like that quite a bit.
From a New Jersey standpoint, let's see. I am on the clock. I'm just gonna take fucking Cutter. I don't. This is my first Cutter share. I'm pretty sure. Like the people are just absolutely frothy about Cutter Gauthier, and let me tell you, I do not want to not be on that train. So let me get on that train.
Yeah, it's a good train.
What's Layla gonna do? What do we got?
Oh, Slavkovsky was the other guy that I wanted, and I went Dougie. I just am a coward. So
you are.
That's what happens when you're a coward. And Sveshnikov was the other guy. And he just never going to be with Ehlers, so I didn't really feel like I needed to do it. Oh boy, Wookie's asking a question that I feel like we already talked about, but I'm willing to talk about it again because you know what? Rinzel was such a good DFS guy at the end of the year. I just don't think you could take him over Levshinov, and I don't think you need to take either of them. But
just both guys are not very exciting to me, so I'm just avoiding.
It just feels like
clearly Wookie. Jeez, jerk.
I'm only very.
I'm wearing offended. The hat, by the way. I'm wearing the Wookie hat.
I am not out of because I knew he didn't listen to our stream, so I was like, I'm not wearing it.
God, yeah, again, literally verbatim. Something I said is if I'm taking Connor Bedard, I'm just like taking Ryan Donato and just finding a litter defenseman because I don't know which one, and even if I did know which one, I don't think either of them are super great. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, nice hat. Let's go.
I'm gonna grab Bo Horvat. I feel like I needed to.
How'd you boys do last year? Did you make the finals?
If
I made the finals, you would have heard about it. I did not. I didn't even make the semifinals.
I think I'm gonna look actually. I thought it was 2, but I'm not sure.
I advanced, I think 19 of 89, and I got 0 through the quarterfinals. Very, very tough.
NHL. What am I up again? 5 picks. Okay. Finals. I had 3 in the finals, and I got 30th, 52nd, and 98th. I think 98th was dead last. I do think. Am I right about that? No, 100 was last.
It was 100, but yeah.
It was 100. I mean, again, but 3 teams in the finals. Unbelievable work. Congratulations to DJ. And I punished. I mean, it meant nothing. I mean, like, it was so instantly bad.
Wasn't the min cash like 500 last year?
Oh, I made money on the year.
Yeah, fuck you. Oh, I got punished. I got punished. I fucking spent a month learning how to code to write a manifesto, and I spent like $1,200, and I returned $110, DJ. It was, I think I returned 190 is what it was, or something obnoxiously low.
You got to be better.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, they got punished. Nothing but punished. Yeah.
Boom. All right. I think I salvaged this team, honestly. Let's get back to where we're at, because with not taking the center till 65, yeah, I kind of just cooked it up with Eriksson, Hischier, Horvat, and Byfield, and just went all the way in. But because I started with Kaprizov, Forsberg, Caulfield, and then took Ehlers still within that top range. I think this is right. I'm a little worried in net with Sorokin and Stolars and the fact that like goalies have kind of completely run out, but I'll grab another one. I will hopefully grab one that wins some games and doesn't suck. But yeah, no, I'm hugely high on Byfield. I'd like to get in more with Fiala, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. I'm gonna guess that Mr. Tom Olsen has. Yeah, he does. He has Kevin Fiala. So I really screwed him this time. But yeah, I think that this is the way to build. If you invest as much draft capital in winger that early, I think you're doing yourself a disservice by not having 4 centers by the time I had 4 centers. Like, you got to just kind of go for it. Who's a Dylan Sampson of the NHL drafts? Luckily for you, you never have to worry about that kind of guy in the NHL drafts because there is no.
What does that even mean? He's on the Browns, but like what?
Yeah,
what happened?
Well, Junkins got arrested.
Oh,
so it's like he's gonna step into a bigger role, and he's like sort of this like riser now because of it. Hold on. I am going to grab Merzlikins. I don't really get the Greaves over Merzlikins thing still. I don't understand it. Like,
I don't get either. I don't get. Yeah.
Who's left at goalie for me? Jari,
Erson. Yeah, I think I'd rather take those 2 over personally, but actually,
but yeah,
I just wouldn't let it get to that situation.
I'm very mad at myself. I let it get to that situation. I thought one of these guys would have got to me. I was going to take Askarov.
Yep, that makes sense. Yep.
Askarov went right before Byfield. I would not have taken Byfield. I would have taken Askarov. Honest, like, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, is there? I really don't think that there's. I mean, there, at least not yet. There's not a clear Dylan Sampson though, because like there isn't a guy that stepped into a massive role that we didn't know about yet. Like, we know everything right now.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
and nothing changed.
We talked about him earlier, but Mackie Samasevich is probably like the most likely to be that guy. If Matt Tkachuk is out through Christmas, you're basically talking Brent Clark from last year with Drew Doughty going out, and you're just like, yep, there's the role for him. Come on down. But yeah, there's no concept like that in hockey. And I think the question's more tongue in cheek than anything else, but like that, the theory of just like opportunity materializing out of absolutely nowhere is just not really a thing because of how, even the best players only play a third of the hockey game. So, any player that's worth anything is playing a quarter of the game right now, and that'll bump up to, a third of the game. Like, it's not that significant versus getting, going from 0 to 100 in other sports is much more likely.
Yeah.
All right. Marchessault goes. So my thought here, not Bertuzzi, Jesus Christ. Ryan Donato is a giga smash with Bedard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I do think that right now, like 14, 15, 16, like if you need wingers, just get your winger. Like, especially when it's your last one in, like don't wait around. Yep. I agree. And Donato is just like, he should be. I really don't understand how he's not 100%. Like, I've seen him go undrafted in one of my drafts, and I was like, I had already got all my 6 wingers in, and I was like, crap.
He took the money to ensure the role. And like, he took less money than he could have gotten, I think, to ensure the role in Chicago. That seems very, very strong to me. Some starring Zellweger for now, but let me just see if there's a forward. You know what? I'm just going to keep taking Josh Norris because injuries don't scare me. I have Connor McDavid. Who cares? I just want to shoot for the moon.
I really do think when you say like, okay, I need a center that's going to be able to produce at a level. I mean, again, with the flex, it changes a little bit, but like Josh Norris is a guy that could have a week that outscores McDavid because he has that type of profile to score. So I kind of like the idea of that pairing in a sense. So fun. All right, come on, Tom. Don't do it. Yes.
So I definitely want a
Bang,
third.
bang, bang, bang. I love Stanko Vanillers. I love that. That feels like it could be a thing.
I think there's a very small chance that happens.
Are they both left?
No, Stankoven's a right, but
yeah,
I think
I'd
Jackson
accept
Blake
Jarvis
is more likely
I think you're
to
wrong.
be a top line. Okay.
I think it's going to be those two with Aho and then Jarvis centering the line too. Call me brave, call me bold. Am I down to my last pick already? Oh my God, this is the last pick. And I don't know who I want. That was that was who I was thinking of.
Look at all these demons. Yeah, I don't know. He's just here. I don't know. He does stuff, so I guess it makes sense. But
did Vince Dunn really suck that bad? Kinda. I'm guessing Brant Clark already went. He's on your queue.
He went. That is a very safe assumption.
Weren't people drafting Owen Power last year?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Wookie's not going to. I mean, you can cross the Keishan off. I'm going to take him here. I'm going to grab him here. I'm going to grab my three Carolina.
What? Chabot already went. Shit.
Yep, he just went. He was a guy that I was looking at. I had him, Gostisbehere, Nikishin, and then I knew. Well, I could have gone Zellweger, but I just like Nikishin more because I have the Stanko and Ehlers stack.
Yeah, I'm just so ready to be hurt with Zellweger. Like there's a lot more projection with Zellweger than there is for Brant Clark.
Yeah.
In that Brant Clark, we've seen him in the role. He shoots. Zellweger's mostly the year before the NHL. He shot a bajillion times. That Bedard year in the CHL, and he's been fine in the NHL. He's had his moments, but really you're banking on a coach actually letting him run. And with Jackson Lacombe, it's super risky, but because I already took McTavish and Cutter, I'm just doing it and saying whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to be too bullish on Zellweger if he gets like 100% drafted without some really, really confident stuff from the preseason or, coach quotes, things like that from the organization.
I kind of love my team at the end of the day.
Oh boy, that's not right. There we go.
I kind of think this team worked out pretty good for me.
I see I'm getting trolled in the chat, so cool. Mark.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's pull up the full draft now.
Mark went Miro, John Carlson, and Lacombe.
That's actually fine. I think it's pretty interesting that like super late D I think is always viable.
Yeah.
What is my team? Easy 8 of 12.
The 8 spot.
Well, he has Michkov, so he's got it.
Yeah. All right. You want to read off your team?
Yeah. Started with McDavid, grabbed Vasi, J-Rob, took Connor Bedard, my one true love, in the 4th round. Victor Hedman, Logan Thompson, so pretty light on wings. So I went on a run, getting Hyman, Batherson, finished goalie with Swayman, and then grabbed Cutter and Steven Stamkos, McTavish, McAvoy, Donato as the Bedard stack, Josh Norris, and Olin Zellweger to cap off the Anaheim stack. So my team is a Edmonton stack, a Chicago stack, and a Anaheim stack.
Interesting. I went and I will do a speed run this time. I did Kaprizov, Forsberg, Caulfield, winger. Then Roman Josi to go with Forsberg, Sorokin to get my first goalie in, Eriksson Ek to go with Kaprizov. So I had nice little stacks going early. Nico Hischier, Nikolaj Ehlers.
Nikolaj, really?
Nikolaj.
You think that's how he says his name?
I think it's how he says his name. I've been to Denmark.
Okay.
Nikolaj Ehlers. Anthony Stolars. Don't love that as my second goalie. I got to be honest. Dougie Hamilton, Bo Horvat, Quentin Byfield, Elvis Bertlinkins. Don't love that as my third goalie either. Jonathan Marchessault, Stankoven, and Alexander Nikishin. So I got a 3 Carolina, 3 New Jersey, 2 New Jersey, 3 Nashville, and 2
Minnesotas. Yeah.
A lot of good stacks, and I need Sorokin to be really fucking good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you need them to be a fringe playoff team.
Whoopsie.
Which, you know, it's possible. You look at their decor, and even without Dobson, I think it's possible.
Yeah,
but, yeah. You probably should have taken Matt Barzal to really, you know,
he went
ramp
really
up
early,
that bet.
I feel like.
I know.
We
talked about him in the 100 range, and he went 97. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, like Stolars is the starter for Toronto, right? If he gets the lion's share of the net this year, I don't know. Arthur Sloville is. Got it.
God, just this is why podcasts will never be able to be replaced by AI people. Just you can't do it. Yes, thank you, Tron.
Arthur Shilovs. Did I do it?
Tom out here drafting.
He was just hoovering up the late ADP or the fallers. He was just like, how many guys are gonna fall?
That Barkov-Bennett correlation, you gotta love that. Shane Wright, he's a man after my own heart here. and
that 12 looks really good. I wonder who that was. I mean, Tristan Miller, what likes TR Miller's team, and I just couldn't possibly guess why. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be a reason.
Yeah, that's
honestly
crazy.
I mean, I really think the only egregious thing was that Matt Boldy, 6th overall situation, but like every other pick in this draft felt pretty.
Yeah, wait, and then his team was like completely normal.
Pretty much. I mean,
he took no goalies, so
until
Freddie, Jack Greaves, and Calvin Pickard. Hey, I think I found a team that you beat in that, DJ.
My goalie situation is not ideal. I'm not gonna like every time I was like, screw it, I'm jumping up the board and I'm taking a goalie. Someone fisted me, and I'm like, could you not? Could I just get this one goalie one time? Like before Dougie, I was like, all right, screw it. I'm taking Skinner, like I'm taking somebody here and just nope. I'm like, all right, screw it. I'll take Dougie. I'll get Vijmelka or somebody back to me, and just nobody.
All right.
Basically, I was a coward the entire draft.
West Ham. What's your? Tell me you're not Zeno.
No, I think he's. I think I figured it
Tickle
out.
My Degen?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's Tickle My Degen. I think I figured it out by one of his questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Kucherov, Werenski, Gensel. So a little stack there. JT, Darcy, Kyrou, Brinkett, Trocheck, Fantilli, Melka, UPL, Turka, Seth Jones, Leo Carlson, Marco Casper, Will Cooley. Is that a 5 center? Okay. And 6 wings.
Did he?
Oh no, okay, I see. Yep. 5-6-3. Yep, 5-6-3. Or Jesus Christ. 5-6-2-3. There we go.
Yep.
I actually drafted a 5-6-2-3 earlier today. So I think that's an
fine.
interesting build.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I wonder about the Miller Trocheck thing. Feels a little bit like concerning. Like I don't.
Yeah,
know.
That's like a little bit of a stretch to talk about like intra-team correlations. Like I would much rather get Miller with Mika if I'm doing a double center thing. But, if the power play clicks, I guess that's that. But then adding Will Cooley on, it's kind of, I don't know. It's a bet on the schedule, I think, as much as anything else, and the team being fine. But I would certainly think the micro edges that I like to claim don't matter, but I still do them anyway, would be like the Mika Zibanejad, JT Miller. They play on a line and they're like excellent sort of deal. But that's just a minor quibble. Fantilli, I think we've talked about. I'm just not sure where the role comes from for him. Like at pick 100, I'd much rather take Sean Monahan at pick 129 because that top line is going to stay the same and they were so good and it's top power play. But, with Werenski, obviously Fantilli could get there if Monahan gets hurt again, which he is very injury prone. So I don't know. Tom, you cannot be defending DJ. We just got to constantly shit on him.
Thank you for the defense. I needed it after. I'm going to need a lot of defense in front of these goalies. That's for sure. So good one.
Yeah, I touched my headset and it went to my computer. So sorry if that blasted anyone. All right. Let's see. Tage Kulik, big hopes.
Yep. That was, I did see he had Tage and Kulik. Listen, if anybody has more hope in Buffalo than you, actually, you have more hope than the entire city of Buffalo, because everyone I talk to is like, this team fucking sucks. I can't wait for them to lose every game. I'm going to be mad again. And then that's just me. That's just me in my mirror. But
it's literally you. Brett, Mr. Underdog himself. Keep the streams coming. Love to see it. Any Landy shares yet? No.
I just can't see him playing a lot.
I want to remember what I said on the last show, because we talked about Colorado, but
Wookie's going to go back and watch it, so you just ask him.
That's true. Wookie, take notes and send them to Brett when you do, about what we said about Landy.
I feel like we just said that we just don't see him playing all 82 or anything, even, like I just don't see it. Like, I think he'll probably play like 50 games, 60 games.
Yep. And they're not going to pile too much on his plate, I think, is the general idea. But anyway, I think that'll do it. I would spend 2 hours. We'll do this again sometime later this week, probably. But obviously, DJ's closing in on wedding time, so we might be doing some solo stuff as he gets busier and busier. So
Thursday will work as part 3 if you want. So we can tentatively schedule Thursday in.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Anything else before we close out shop?
Nope. Again, if you're not in the Morning Skate Pod Discord, if you're one of the badge bros, that hangs out there, I do post stuff in the Morning Skate Pod Discord that's, certainly way too in depth for any sane person to do. But if you want a link to the Morning Skate Pod one, shoot me a DM either in Discord or on Twitter, and I can get you the MSP Discord link. And more to come. Write-ups in my newsletter and more videos and all sorts of stuff coming down the pipe. We have about.
Did you get the cat back to its life?
Not yet. Really, no updates. Today, the previous owner was supposed to be following up on a couple things, and I haven't heard. But we just haven't found the place that the cat was, like the cat were given to. We have not found her. And that's like the main holdup, because we don't know where to look for this other cat. But the cat itself is doing very well that we have possession of. She's warming up to us very quickly, so that's nice. But still very sad that there's another cat that I don't know where she is, and that her sister's down here missing her. So I will let you all know when we do get a resolution there, one way or the other.
Perfect. All right, I got nothing else to say. Just see you in the draft lobbies. Definitely love drafting with everybody, and we'll keep this going.
Alrighty. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we will see you.